Hey guys, this is Mickey here, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a recap for the week beginning August 28th. So the markets essentially got a bounce off the lows here, off of 435, and now it's getting pretty close to filling the gap on the SPY. Again, we just printed a new monthly candle today, so we'll just head over to the SPY and take a look at that. So right now, it looks like we're getting a pretty big slowdown in terms of momentum because we were getting minus fives, and then 15s and 14s on the dual band strength index. And then last month, August, we saw a bit of a reversal down to 435, and it ended the month neutral. And now we're probably leaning a little bit more on the bearish side. And that's not saying that we're going to start crashing now, but September is often to with a 7 and a 2 on the dual band strength. And then if you look at the Qs here on the monthly, something very similar. You have an 8 and a 2 on the QQQ. And if we actually take a look at the Qs here, we have one more gap to fill towards the upside, which we got pretty close to today with the spike up. We actually ended the day a little bit higher. Actually, we ended the day actually lower, actually down 11 basis points. But again, the Qs only had to pump up like 0.5% more, and it just couldn't do it. But if you're going for the wick, if you're going for the gap fill to the wick, then technically you did fill the gap. But it's all up to however you guys want to do it. So if you're going from the wick here, you filled the gap. And again, there's probably another gap left at 385, but that's a little bit ways away. So I guess if we're gonna do that, then you can do 385. But if you went to the wick, then technically you filled the gap. So it's all up to you guys, however you want to do it. But overall, if we're going for more wicks, then we filled all the gaps. After that, you got gaps down here at 338, 331, 312, and you got gaps at 307, and one here all the way down at 290. I'm pretty sure if I look down here, I'll probably find some more. But right now, these are the ones that we're looking at. And eventually these are all going to fill. It's just a matter of time. And if we look at the shorter time frames, like the weekly, again, we got a little bit of a bounce week this week, so it's looking a little bit bullish. We'll see how September goes, but for the time being, I still think that we are going to be playing out in this larger pattern on the SPY, which is going to be a B wave towards the upside, which we have gotten, and then we're probably going to get, in my opinion, a C wave towards the downside. And right now, everyone's very bullish, so it's a little bit you want to edge on caution, and you don't want to be too longs into heavy. If anything, if you're not shorting, you want to be sitting on cash and taking profits on long positions, because I mean, so many stocks have gone parabolic here. If you take a look at Nvidia has been rallying non-stop since October, since the lows, and it's up over 340% here. And again, this is no small stock. This is like $1 trillion stock now. It's almost at 1.2 trillion, and I think it reached it the other day. And today we got a bit of a down day. It's been hammering on this resistance line that I've drawn here, essentially from this previous pivot high to this pivot high, and then again, it's you can see that it's been retesting this level as resistance for quite a bit of time. And if we look at Nvidia on using Market Cipher, I mean, you're starting to see that this could be potentially the wave 5 top here, and then you're going to form a potential red dot on the monthly for this month. I mean, we're pretty close to that, but if we start to get a pretty significant drop, then you're going to see Nvidia start to come in pretty significantly as well. But again, we'll have to see, because there's also the bullish case that everything is going to be rosy and dandy, and the Qs and the SPY they're just going to keep pumping up, and then the market is just going to keep going as well. And again, this is the scenario right here. The bullish scenario for the bulls is that the daily is just going to keep going up, and you're going to get another 16%. And you're going to make new all-time highs. But for the time being, I remain bearish. And again, it's not the most popular opinion, especially since the bears have been shorting since the lows here, and they've probably gotten wrecked on this pump in the SPY and the Qs, and obviously individual stocks have rallied significantly more, especially the mega caps like Apple. But we've seen like some pretty, I think Apple to me has seen a pretty big change in trend. Again, Apple is like your go-to mega cap that everybody buys the dip in, and it's been going up, 50%, 57% from the lows of October, or since basically the beginning of the year in January, and it hasn't seen any downside since then. And now, to me, this trend has broken, and you are potentially going to start to head down pretty significantly here. I think you might come, if you're lucky, you'll come in and you'll fill the gap here at a 191, and then you might see some downside after that. So essentially, I think this is basically you're going to do like a bit of an ABC correction, sort of something like here that I've been looking at for the SPY. And again, I just illustrated a little bit of a bigger pattern here. So you got your ABC correction, and then you're going to come into a 5-wave move, and we're probably going to see the C wave unravel here, and maybe in the month of September, and it could even last until October. But once October comes, I think we're going to get a little bit of a bounce here, and it could lead into a Christmas rally for December, ending the year. And then I think once we kick off 2024, it's going to get pretty ugly, and it might get ugly in a hurry. But again, this is way down the road, and I'm not forecasting any market crashes just yet. I'm just cautioning everyone that's getting heavy into longs on the Qs and the SPY and essentially everything else, because I'm seeing some pretty ugly stuff here on my charts. And same thing for the Dow Jones, right? A wave and completed, and now you're into your B wave. And then if this starts to roll over, you're going to see a pretty big drop in the Dow Jones as well. And again, the Dow Jones is only 30 stocks, price cap weighted. So we'll see what those stocks are going to do. But overall, if the small caps like the IWM, if this was your B wave top here and you're unable to continue the momentum, you are going to cut into that red money flow, and that's going to get really ugly in a hurry, because these small caps are really extremely reliant on borrowing money, and they're like zombie companies. So if the yields keep pushing higher, which looks like they will, then you're gonna get some pretty bad price action in these small caps. But right now it looks like the 2-year could have topped, and it may come back to do some backing and filling. That's why we may see some upside. But if it continues its strong uptrend, and we are unable to find a top yet for the yields like the 2-year, then you're gonna keep seeing maybe the market drop here, because the market has set on the idea that the yields are going to come down and that they're going to start cutting soon, because there's no need for them to raise more, because the inflation fight is over. But I think the inflation fight is just getting started, and we may see higher and higher inflation. And if they do cut the rates, then you're going to see gold skyrocket. You're going to see commodities skyrocket, and you're going to see that the inflation fight that they could have just won, or at least they pretend to have just won, is going to get really, really bad, and it's going to get ugly in a hurry. And inflation is going to come back faster and stronger than ever. And then the market won't be able. The Fed won't be able to raise rates even higher, and then everything starts to unravel. The market will come down, and it'll be really bad. But for the time being, market's quite bullish. They keep buying the dip. The VIX keeps falling, right? The VIX is down to 13 now, and it could be getting ready for a reversal anytime. But if it breaks the lows and you keep dropping, then we're just going to keep playing these put options on the volatility products, because when the VIX drops, the volatility products decay even faster. And right now you can see that the UVXY is down 31%. The UVIX is down even more, I believe. This one's probably going to get a split soon. This one's down 41%. And I'm not sure that the VIX is down that much. I think the VIX is down like only 30%, 31%. So these volatility products decay really quickly, and they're just great to play put options on them. So if you ever get a chance to play puts on these, well, after a market crash, because the market only goes down for so long, and if you get a bounce that comes after, then you see the VIX just decays really fast. Anyways, that's it for me. That's going to be the market recap. I'll post it on my new YouTube channel. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great long weekend. Love you all. Peace.